All right, back here, so it says two particles move along the x-axis, so just moving right and left. For 0 to 8, particle position of particle P. So very important we get the position of particle P, but we get the velocity of particle Q. So you want to make sure you organize that. So I've got position, I've got velocity. I'm going to find the velocity of this here in a second. So it says, and then it says particle Q has position at position 5 at time equals 0. Then it says part A, for when is the P moving to the left? Well, particle P will be moving to the left when its velocity is negative, so I'm going to find its velocity. So I'd handle the natural log first, so that gets me 1 over all of this stuff. And then I take the derivative of the inside, so I get 2t minus 2. And I want to know when it's moving to the left, so I'm interested in when first it's equal to 0. So I want to make sure it can't be undefined anytime here and see about this. So I started thinking about factoring this. I couldn't. I started plugging some values in, and I realized that this bottom part here is only ever positive. So the only time we can be 0 is when the top is equal to 0, so at t equals 1. So if I do a sign chart of the velocity from 0 to 8, if I plug in something smaller than 1, I get negative. If I get something bigger than 1, I get positive. So I would say that the particle is moving to the left. I would write this out, but I would say particle P is moving to the left from time 0 to 1. And it says for time 0 to 8, find all the times which the two particles travel in the same direction. So I've already got a sign chart here. So this is the velocity of P. So I'm going to do a sign chart of this guy. So if I had to factor this guy, I get t minus 3, t minus 5. So if I'm doing a sign chart for the velocity, I got a 0, 3, 5, and an 8. And obviously it's not real matched up that great, but if I put in, say, a 2, this would be negative, negative, which gives me positive. If I put in a 4, I get positive, negative, which gives me negative. And if I put in say 6, I get positive, positive, which gives me positive. So we want to know when they're moving in the same direction. So looks like they're moving in the same direction from 1 to 3. And again from 5 to 8. This would be a little better if I had lined those up better, but this one's moving right from 1 to 8. This one from 1 to 3 and 5 to 8. So or 0 to 3, so we'll go 1 to 3, 5 to 8. So when they're moving in the same direction. And I'll ask us for the time, so I would say they're moving in the same direction in these intervals. C says find the acceleration of particle Q. So acceleration of particle Q at time t would be 2t minus 8. And then it says, is the speed of the particle increasing, decreasing, or neither at time 2? So you'll recall if velocity and acceleration have the same sign, we've talked about this a few times. So I want to find velocity of particle Q at time 2, and I want to find acceleration of particle Q at time 2. So velocity would give me 4 minus 16 plus 15 equals 3. And acceleration would give me negative 4. So I would say that the speed of the particle is decreasing. I would write this out, but I'd say the speed of the particle is decreasing because velocity and acceleration have opposite signs. Velocity is positive, acceleration is negative. Think of velocity as I'm moving in the forward direction. Negative acceleration, the wind is blowing in my face. So if their opposite speed will be decreasing. Find the position of the particle Q the first time it changes directions. Okay, so we found out that the first time the particle Q changes directions is at time 3. That's when velocity changes sign. So they want me to find the position of the particle at that time. So if I find the position of particle Q, I'm taking the antiderivative of this. So I'll get 1/3 t cubed minus 4t squared plus 15t plus c, and then they told me that at time 0, position would be 5, so I'll plug a 0 in, and a 5 here, that'll mean this is equal to 5. And now they want to know the position of the particle at time 3, so I'll go 1/3 3 cubed minus 4 times 3 squared plus 15 times 3, and I can just hear you guys complaining about the mental math. So 27, 1/3 of that is 9. 3 squared is 9 times 4 is 36 plus 30 plus 5. So I'm at what? Negative 27 plus 3, so 8. Oh man, I screwed up. That's kind of embarrassing. This is a 45, not a 30. There you go, 27, 18, 5, that would be 23. So I'm an idiot, but there you are. Even math people like myself make mistakes from time to time. All right, I'll be back with number 6 here soon.